Welcome to Zenit Longboards. My name is Sam, and today I'm going to help you pick out a dancing board. Dancing board has become big in the longboarding communities, and it's everybody that loves to do it. You could get beginners doing it, and you can get very advanced longboarders doing it too. We're here making a video for you, the beginner, who's never longboarded before, who's looking at getting their first board, who wants a dancing board but doesn't really know what to look for. Well, I've got my shades on. I'm here to help you find the right things because it's just a bit sunny today, so let's get to it, shall we? There's a lot of different things that you want to look for when you're buying a dancing board, but you don't want to overcomplicate it for yourself. So I'm not going to go over everything to look for. You're buying your first board, so you want a board that you'll like, a board that you find pretty. You want a board that'll probably suit your size, and you want a board that'll last a long time because you don't want to spend money on something that next year you're going to have to replace. So let's go over a few things right away. The biggest question that we're asked at Zenit is, I'm this height, is this board the right size for me? With dancing boards, it's a little bit complicated to say because, I know people that are 5 feet tall and ride the jig right here and it's 46 inches and they have absolutely no problem. And I know other people that are 6'4" and they'll ride the Judo. It's really a matter of what you want to be doing on your board. The big boards that we have here are board walkers, and the little boards that we have here are more freestyle oriented longboards. What I will say is you can dance on both of them equally well. They do have different specifics, so let's go over those. Wow, this is dusty. A board that has a cutout shape has a dedicated platform for board walking. And the reason being that your wheels will probably show up right here. So you want to keep your feet on the platform and you don't want to step on your wheel, because if you step on your wheel, well, you'll learn. A board like this is a lot more of a board walker. So it's those classic cross steps that you see where you use the full length of the board, and that's inspired by surfing. You see people walking all the way to the nose of the board and then all the way to the tail on the wave. This is the board that's going to simulate that the most. You'll notice a difference in height too. The Tero is the shortest dancing board that we have and the jig is the longest. Now, it doesn't really matter how tall you are. You can ride this one and you can ride this one. They'll be just as fun. Cold. Another thing that's important to look for when you're buying a dancing board is the width of the board. So the Judo is 9.25 wide, whereas the Joe is 9.75, 9.75 wide. There's a difference, well, in many things. This one will have a little bit less room for you to put your feet in terms of width, whereas this one will have more. So you'd have more fun doing board walking maneuvers on this one. But this one will be easier to do kind of freestyle tricks like kick flips. Maybe you want to do, a no comply 360 flip. That's your goal because you're a beginner and you're bent on it. You say, I'm going to do this. I'm sure you will. This one might be easier. This one, stick to cross steps. No, don't put that in there. Don't put that, that's stupid. I can do a no comply 360 flip with this. Yeah. This one will be a lot easier for freestyle tricks where the board has to flip like this. Whereas this one will be, well, I'm not going to do that, but it'll be probably a little bit harder. You can do it with this, but what we had in mind with this one was something that had more room for board walking. So now let's see what the best dancing longboard is for you. This is the Tero. It's the narrowest of our freestyle oriented dancers. It's 42 inches long. It's 9.25 inches wide, and it's 26.75 inch wheelbase. The Tero is the board that you want to take if you want to learn some aerial tricks on your board. Kick flips will be easier, no comply 180s will be easier. All the beginner flat ground tricks that aren't necessarily related to dancing. That being said, The platform in the middle is plenty wide enough for you to learn dancing tricks. And we also have a 38th inch micro drop right here at the tail and right here at the nose, so you're oriented and so you know when your foot's getting close to the nose of the board. The Tero can be seen as the board that would be for someone who's a little bit shorter, a little bit on the lighter side, so that you can manipulate it, so you can move it under your feet with no problem, and you'll still be able to dance on it. If you're a taller person, you might want to switch for this one, the Dino. The Dino is 43 inches long, it's 9.5 inches wide, and it's got a 27.75 inch wheelbase. It's basically the same thing as the Tero. The difference is that it's wider. I mean, that's basically it. It's a little bit longer too. So the same things that you can do with the Tero, you can do with the Dino. If you were watching the Tero and you thought, wow, that's a cool board, but I want it to be bigger, here it is. You've got plenty of room on the platform to do your dancing tricks. You've got those 38th inch micro drops at the front and the back to know where your feet are, and you'll be having a good time. This thing pops like crazy. The Dino and the Tero are the freestyle-oriented dancing boards, but if you want something to do big cross steps on and want to walk along, you'll want something like this. The Judo. This is the smallest of our board walking dancers. The Judo is 44 inches long, it's 9.125 inches wide, and it's got a wheelbase from 27.75 to 28.75 long. That means that you could set up your trucks a little bit closer towards the inside or a little bit further, depending on what kind of riding you want. If you want to do a lot of board walking, I would set it on the outside, that way you have a little bit more platform in the middle. If you want a board walking board, but you also want to do freestyle tricks, it'll be a little bit more nimble and it'll be a little bit easier to do those kinds of tricks if you set your trucks on the inside. This board is perfect for someone who's a little bit on the smaller side but wants a board walking board, and it's going to be great for freestyle tricks, as you saw me do this sweet hand trick earlier. As I've mentioned, this board is a little bit on the narrow side for a dancer, for a board walker specifically. So if you want something with a little bit more room, actually a lot of bit more room, you'll want the Judo. The Judo was 9.125 inches wide. This is 9.75 inches wide. That's a whole ½ inch wider and a little bit more. It's 1 inch longer at 45 inches, and it's got a 28.75 to 29.75 wheelbase. Same principle. Further out is better for board walking. Further in is better for freestyling. Cross steps, Peter Pans, Lazy Susans, sidewinders, whatever you want to learn to do. This is the best board. This is the board that I was officially able to learn Peter Pans on because my big feet wouldn't fit on the Judo. And I mean, you'll still be able to use it for freestyle tricks. I mean, check this out. Last but not least, it snowed. That's okay. This is the jig. It's the in-between. It's not as wide as the Judo and it's not as slim as the Judo. It's 9.5 inches wide. It's the longest board that we have, so it's 46 inches, and it's got a 29.75 wheelbase all the way up to a 31.75 wheelbase. If you want a dancing board that's fit for everything, that's just as good at freestyling as board walking, that's just as good as at no complies, as cross steps, whatever you want to do, go for this one. At the end of the day, the most important thing for you is to choose the board that you like. You're a beginner, you haven't skated much. You need to go through a few boards to figure out what you like best. As long as you like one of the boards, you'll be able to ride it. And at Zenit, we make boards that you guys will enjoy. So whether you're taking the Tero, the Dino, the Judo, the Jig, or the Judo, I promise you, you'll wind up loving it. You'll love it just as much as I like making Snow Angel!